My name is Yinka Babalola.
My name is Ijoma Pelokoro.
My name is Joshua Hassan.
I am Rotarian or Mosunde Lawson.
It's Ife Rita Ejeze. My friends call me Ife.
My name is Rotarian Lola Dare.
I'm inviting you to keep watching SOUQ News. It's the right station to tune to.
I like SOUQ News. SOUQ News is good.
I want to charge you all to listen to SOUQ News, watch the news.
You can have unlimited news, first time.
Find SOUQ News. Be with SOUQ News. Never switch off. You are better for it. SOUQ News is the real thing.
Listen to their coverage and you'll be glad you did.
Turn to your YouTube, turn to your Instagram, turn to all your digital channels and look for SOUQ News.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Please, guys, keep watching.
SOUQ News.
We've got just what you need right here at Femi Wash Media. Call it the Midas Touch, and you wouldn't be wrong. Let us record, produce, mix, and master your audio like nobody does. Reach us on our contact today for the best quality job.
Every time you spend money, you make a decision, not just about what you buy, but about the kind of economy you want to build. When you support a local business, you help create jobs, you help families earn, you help communities grow. Small businesses are the backbone of our economy. They reinvest in our neighborhoods. They create opportunity close to home. Before you click buy or choose where to shop, pause and ask, is there a local option? Because strong local businesses mean stronger cities. Stronger cities mean a stronger nation. Support local. Build the future. This message is brought to you in the interest of economic growth and national development.
Baobab tree where shadows bend, the earth whispers tales, the wind.
Human rights are a fundamental and universal entitlement belonging to every person by birth, designed to ensure dignity, freedom, and equality regardless of race, nationality, or status. These inalienable rights form the very core of global governance. International human rights law, founded upon the Charter of the United Nations and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR of 1948, establishes the binding obligation of government to protect these freedoms. A key success of this universal framework has been the continuous expansion of its legal body to protect vulnerable groups, including women, children, and persons with disabilities. This universal commitment forms the basis of this year's International Human Rights Day theme, our everyday essentials, which seeks to reaffirm these principles not as abstract concepts, but as the practical foundation people rely on daily. Despite the strength of this legal foundation, challenges in implementation and new complexity result in an uneven global landscape. Millions are facing a critical lack of access to basic needs such as food, water, health, education due to persistent poverty and entrenched inequality. Recent World Bank estimates indicate that approximately 817 million people are currently facing extreme poverty, underscoring the severity of this implementation gap. Rapid advances in technology and digitalization also present novel hurdles concerning surveillance and privacy. Digital access, essential for modern civic participation, saw significant disruption in 2024 with 296 instances of internet service disruption, highlighting the growing threat to digital rights. This challenge is compounded by weak governance and the widespread persistence of armed conflict. These elements undermine fundamental rights by fueling instability and violence, often perpetuated by a lack of accountability for violations. The devastating impact on civilian life remains profound. The United Nations recorded a sharp 72% surge in the loss of civilian life in conflict zones in 2023, coupled with a record high of over 120 million forcibly displaced persons by the end of 2024. The human rights framework faces compounding issues such as climate change, which threatens the rights to life and health through environmental degradation. This has created a hazardous environment for advocates, with environmental human rights defenders facing substantial risk to their personal safety. Navigating a fair and constructive way forward requires key action across key primary fronts. Strengthening social safety nets through the establishment of universal social protection floors is vital to close the inequality gap and safeguard essential economic rights. Enhancing accountability is paramount. The international community must increase support for mechanisms that investigate and prosecute serious violations of humanitarian law, thereby countering impunity and restoring the rule of law. Also, the protection of civic space must be prioritized by regulating the digital sphere to ensure strong privacy rights and by enacting specific legal safeguards that protect activists, journalists, and human rights defenders from attacks, allowing them to perform their essential work without fear. Ultimately, ensuring human rights remain an ongoing commitment that demands measurable action over rhetorical assurance. By reinforcing the UDHR's principles through strategic investment in social protection, accountability, and the safeguarding of civic and digital freedoms, the global community can successfully transition these values from legal ideals into the everyday essentials that defines a life of dignity, freedom, and equality for all people. Praise Matthias, SOUQ News TV.
And the rules hold the reasons why.
Welcome to Cashcraft, where we uncover the gold in every enterprise. Today, we explore a buzzing opportunity that is sweet, sustainable, and seriously profitable: beekeeping and honey production. Nigeria's honey demand is rising, but supply still falls short, creating a lucrative gap in the market. Beekeeping is a low-capital agribusiness with high returns, especially when done organically. From honey to beeswax, propolis to royal jelly, every part of the hive has commercial value. Imagine this: low startup, high yield, a beginner-friendly venture with starter kits costing 50,000 naira to 150,000 naira and profit margins above 60% after the first harvest. That is very possible. Also, are you thinking climate advantage? Nigeria's tropical vegetation and long flowering seasons make it ideal for beekeeping almost year-round. So you know that's a good business to venture into. Now let's look at health and organic market boom. Natural unadulterated honey is in high demand. This demand kept increasing on a daily basis, not just locally but across West Africa and international markets. And it is used for different purposes, from health to skincare, culinary, and more. You may need further research, professional advice to understand exactly what I am talking about. Now, value chain potential. Processing and packaging honey, producing beeswax candles, selling hives, or even offering training is the way to go. Do not miss out. Just so you know, this is a climate-smart, gender-inclusive business that doesn't require owning a land or intensive labor. Here is how to take advantage. Start small with training and support. Enroll in the basic beekeeping course. Many NGOs, agricultural institutions, and cooperatives offer short-term hands-on training. Join a cooperative to access shared equipment, farmland, and easier entry into the market. Invest in starter kits. Begin with 1 or 2 hives. Starter kits typically include protective gears, a smoker, hive tools, and a bee colony. All you need to get started. Explore the full value chain. Process and bottle raw honey for local or boutique markets. Create value-added products such as beeswax candles, lip balm, soap, and natural polish. Build and sell beehives or rent them to farms for pollination services. Offer training and mentorship as your experience grows. Target empowerment opportunities. That's very key. Many donor-funded projects now support climate-smart, land-light ventures like beekeeping, making it ideal for women and youth with limited capital but strong entrepreneurial drive. From the wild to the wallet, beekeeping is more than a craft. It's a golden opportunity. With the right training and tools, you can turn nature's sweetest gift into your next source of steady income. And you know what? You don't need to think twice. If you want to go into it, take that decision now and get started. I am Grace Komalafe, and this is Cashcraft. I'll see you again some other time. Bye.
Palm oil has long been a vital component of Nigeria's agricultural heritage, with roots tracing back to pre-colonial times. Originally serving local needs, its importance has grown exponentially, propelling Nigeria into a prominent global producer. Spread across regions like Edo, Delta, Cross River, and Ondo states, the country boasts extensive plantations and advanced processing capabilities. It takes about 4 years for oil palms to produce fruit suitable for harvest. Each tree will then continue to produce fruit for up to 30 years, at which point they will have grown to around 40 feet tall. According to reports, Nigeria's palm oil production increased to 1.4 million metric tons in 2023, witnessing steady growth since 2009, with a peak surge in 2010. Despite a surge in domestic consumption, reaching 1.8 million metric tons in the 2021-2022 crop year, Nigeria still imports 350,000 metric tons, primarily from China and Malaysia. Similarly, some of the challenges plaguing the sector include declined production, outdated equipment, and insufficient financing, resulting in a notable production deficit. To address these challenges, government intervention is imperative, necessitating increased funding, favorable policies, and enhanced environmental protection measures. Furthermore, Nigeria and other African countries must move away from the local way of producing palm oil to a more mechanized method for effective and efficient production. Additionally, fostering collaborations among farmers, processors, marketers or consumers, and equipment fabricators is vital for sustainable production and value chain development. Israel Adeyemi, SOUQ News.
Rest isn't laziness, it's your body's reset button. Hello, my name is Emmanuel Olise, and this is SOUQ Health Tips. Today, let's discuss one of the most underrated health boosters, sleep. You can eat right and exercise daily, but without good sleep, your body never truly recovers. Number 1, sleep is cellular repair. During deep sleep, your body heals builds muscles, and restores energy. It's also when your brain clears out toxins and strengthens memory. 2. Stick to a schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Your body thrives on rhythm. 3. Create a sleep sanctuary. Dim lights, cool temperature, and 0 screens before bed. Your bedroom should tell your body it's time to rest. 4. Avoid late caffeine and heavy meals. They interfere with deep sleep stages. Opt for herbal tea or light snacks instead. In summary, sleep isn't optional. It's essential medicine. Protect it like you would any prescription. I'm Emmanuel Lise, and this is SOUQ Health Tips. Sleep well, your body's counting on it.
Known as the father of African literature, Chinua Achebe was born on the 16th of November 1930 in Ogidi, now Anambra State, eastern Nigeria. He was born to Isaiah Okafor Achebe, a teacher and an evangelist, and Janet Anenichi Iluebunam, a vegetable farmer. Achebe has reshaped the global understanding of African identity through the power of storytelling. Raised during the twilight of colonial rule, Achebe's education was steeped in both Igbo tradition and the Western values of post-colonial Christianity. As a student at the University of Ibadan, he became fiercely critical of how Africa was portrayed in Western literature. Achebe believed that Western literature often painted Africa as a dark and primitive continent, but he sought to tell the African people's lens. In 1958, Achebe's groundbreaking novel Things Fall Apart shattered colonial narratives through the tragic story of Okonkwo, an Igbo warrior. Achebe illuminated the complexities of African culture and the devastating effects of European colonization. Things Fall Apart became more than just a novel. It became a symbol of African resistance against the oppressive narratives of colonialism. Achebe was not just a writer. He was a passionate advocate for African self-determination, and his political activism made him a critical voice in the post-colonial era. Even after a life marked by personal and political struggles, including a car accident that left him partially paralyzed, Achebe continued to inspire. He taught at Bard College and later Brown University, where his influence reached new generations of writers and thinkers. He was married to Christiana Chinwe Okoli, and they had 4 children. Sadly, he died in March 2013 at the age of 82. Chinua Achebe's legacy endures in his novels, his essays, and in the countless voices of African writers who follow in his footsteps. He gave us a voice, a story, and a vision of Africa that is ours to share.
For more than a century, Zambia has stood as a prominent figure in the mining sector, particularly renowned for its copper production, which remains a cornerstone of the nation's economy. Accounting for 3/4 of the country's export earnings, mining plays a pivotal role in Zambia's economic landscape. The focal point of this mining activity is the Copperbelt province, home to major copper mines like Lumwana and Konkola, alongside Sentinel in the northwestern province. These mines, operated by renowned international firms such as Barrick and Vendetta Resources, hold majority foreign ownership, with Zambia Consolidated Copper Mine Investment Holdings retaining minority stakes. Smaller mines in the Copperbelt region, backed by investors from countries like China, Brazil, and South Africa contribute to Zambia's diversified mining landscape. However, the country's mining sector faces various challenges hindering the potential growth trajectory. Fiscal policies introduced by the government, including royalty increases, the taxation policies, have negatively impacted mining profitability. Also, price volatility in global markets, infrastructural deficiencies like inadequate transportation networks, power shortages, and an uncertain regulatory environment further increases the sector's challenges. Moreover, labor disputes, safety concerns, and geopolitical risks stemming from political instability poses additional hurdles to Zambia's mining sector. To propel the nation towards its 3 million tons copper production goal, strategic measures are crucial, and these include leveraging digital technology through partnerships with AI and machine learning firms to enhance sector's efficiency and investment, stable policy framework in order to attract and retain investment, and provision of a conducive regulatory environment. Infrastructure strengthening supported by donor funding and concessional financing can also alleviate critical constraints such as transportation and power shortages. More so, environmental conservation is vital for sustainable development. Hence, mining companies must provide government-approved environmental management plans, prioritize durable equipment, and proper waste disposal techniques to minimize environmental degradation. Given copper's expected dominance in Zambia's exports, maintaining its position as Africa's economic hub demands a concerted effort. Israel Adeyemi, SOUQ News.
As the world navigates constant change and competing voices, the call for purposeful leadership rings louder. The Scalable Leadership Summit 2025, hosted on the Leadership Channel Consulting platform, wasn't just another conference. It was a clarion call to leaders, seasoned and emerging, to abandon short-lived titles and build the kind of leadership that endures storms, spans generations, and reshapes nations. In a compelling convergence of Africa's top-level thought leaders, entrepreneurs, and organizational trailblazers, the summit issued a bold call for enduring, values-driven leadership. Under the theme, Lead Beyond Limits, Build What Lasts, the convener, Wale Adekola, emphasized that this event is not for applause. It was engineered for lasting impact.
We're talking about leaders who are going to represent leadership, who are going to become leadership ambassadors. And that is why we are launching Scalable Niger today. So Scalable Niger for us is not just a slogan. It's something that we want to see happening in every community in Nigeria, because today every participant is going to go home with three powerful frameworks, and for these frameworks, we have the first one is the Scalable Leadership Framework. The second one is ADAPT. ADAPT model is a sustainable change system that they can use to transform any system within the organization, of course, and across institutions in Nigeria, of course, and across Africa. So these are proven and tested frameworks that we have studied, we have applied, for the past 10 years. And now we want to see all these frameworks applied in Nigerian institutions and, of course, organizations.
The summit delivered a rich blend of keynote insights and fire chat dialogues, featuring voices like Adeyemi Olayiwole, Niyi Adesanya, Tara Fela Durotoye, Honorable Adewumi Adeyemi, Professor Abraham Oshinobi, and Dr. Smith Bam, among others. The experience was further deepened by stirring spoken words, performances, and inspirational music, not merely to share leadership principles, but to ignite a deeper commitment to legacy-driven leadership in a world that is constantly evolving. Kicking off the summit was leadership strategist and keynote speaker Odeyemi Olayiwole, who emphasized the power of learning from experience. His message challenged attendees to go beyond information and seek transformation through mentorship, experience sharing, and tested wisdom.
The cheapest way to succeed in anything is to learn from someone who has succeeded in that thing. Not someone that knows about the thing alone, but someone who has been able to acquire the information and translate it to application and have results to show. And so that's why many years, in 1996, when I knew that my assignment was in the leadership space, one of the first questions I asked is, who is doing what I want to do? And who is the best at what I do? Every year I pick 3 case studies: a country, a company, and a corporate leader, every single year. And I dissect them to find out what is the secret, because success needs clues. The secret of men are in their stories. So one of the cheapest ways to succeed at anything is to find out who has succeeded at what I want to start.
Renowned beauty entrepreneur Tara Feladrotoye, in her keynote session and during a fire chat with a convener, shared lessons from her leadership journey in building the House of Tara brand, from humble beginnings to a systemized enterprise. She spoke on navigating growth, people development, and succession planning.
What is it that I do that delivers the same outcome? What is it that makes my customers buy every time? Write it down, because you have now found a framework. Then you amplify and multiply that framework so that every time you meet a House of Tara person, there is something about them that reminds you of the person you met in Lekki. Why? Because we have created a culture. The policies are designed to protect you, not just the company. If you don't remember everything else that I said and you are an employee here, follow the policies and embrace them in your chest. Know them by heart. If anybody says anything, you just ask, what does the policy say? And all found out if you don't have policies, what you are basically saying is that you allow your people to do anything.
From academia, Professor Oshinobi of Lagos Business School brought a compelling perspective on national transformation governance, innovation, and faith-based leadership.
The Nigerian paradox: we are rich in resources, yet poor in trust. True of us, bursting with talent, yet starved of opportunity. A land of faith, yet a desert. Governance is a structural foundation that enables accountability, transparency, and the rule of law. But the crisis is this: 83% of Nigerians is strong public institution. True or true? That is the basis of our problem in this country. Trust deficits.
The summit was not all talk. It was also artfully immersive, as Esosia Wilson rendered soul-lifting inspirational songs, creating moments of reflection between sessions. In an interview with SOUQ News TV, the convener emphasized the summit's depth, that it is a leadership movement committed to shaping a new breed of leaders. Participants shared their reflections, describing the summit as a catalytic experience that confronted, challenged, and compelled.
Leadership is not just a day thing, it's a daily thing. We want them to recognize 3 types of patterns. So we have encouraged them to study pattern. Number 1, pattern recognition. Number 2, pattern usage, how they can use the pattern that they're going to learn today. And number 3 is pattern creation. How can they create new patterns that they can apply in their own organization, something that is unique for them from the patterns they've recognized that they can use and also apply in their organization through wisdom.
Some people just wish to scale, but you need to be able to have a system that enables you to scale. So that's basically what I think the frameworks will do. And then from each of the speakers, so they are all coming from different Some are from the academia, the business world, which I believe that convergence will actually help to give a better knowledge and sensitization about what true scalability in business and in leadership basically is.
The second session talked about the need for leaders to appreciate their team members, and it was quite emotional when we saw 2 or 3 people shed tears of joy when they got messages from their team leaders. So for us as team leaders, we need to be very deliberate. And even the case study we did, Deep Sea, it talks about the need for us to be very deliberate. We need to know our team members. We need to know what's happening with them, and we need to leverage their strengths.
Everything rises and falls on leadership. If the leader gets it right, it trickles down to those at the middle level, at the lower level. So it's important to get it right from the root so that the fruits are good. I do a lot of case studies. So you study what has worked, what has not worked. And through my research, preparing for this summit, I discovered that we're talking about starting, scaling, and sustaining businesses. So let's study systems that have worked for up to 1,000 years and more. And I found out that they are driven around community, which is people. Everything should be about people. Listen to them, love them, then you can lead them more effectively. And when people's hearts are touched, they work better with their hands, with their head, and with their feet.
Because I work with people, I understand how powerful people can be, and the biggest asset any organization has is not infrastructure, it's its people. And if you understand that your people are your assets, you will invest in your people. But if you don't understand it, if you don't share that philosophy, you're going to abuse your people, you're going to misuse your people. So for me, it's something I've been living for 20 years, and so it's just natural.
You need to love the people you want to lead by having what we call the emotional intelligence, social intelligence. Both go hand in hand, and you need them for leadership. And lastly, for leadership is also about listening. For you to influence one, you need to listen to your environment in order to act accordingly.
We have looked at how to scale our leadership potential, and also sustain it. It's not enough to just start, but we will start, we will scale, and then we'll sustain it. It's something that should be a legacy, something that should live beyond us. Right now, we are talking about impact, the impact that the structures and the systems that we are putting in place will have on our society, on our community. So leadership is beyond just us. It's about impact, it's about sustainability, and it's about the value that we are creating for our society.
To a large extent, I try to tell people that you can be anything you want to be. Because you've been placed here to lead, you've been placed here to be at the forefront. And for you to be at the forefront, that means you need to understand what leadership means. And that's the message I pass out. I see myself being able to influence the world with my music, and also show people that they have the ability to believe they can be anything they want to be.
My workers are waiting patiently to see me coming, because I have a lot to impact on them about the personal growth, the business growth, and everything as well. Everybody needs this, especially if you're an entrepreneur. You don't need to miss out this kind of program. You need to connect. No matter the money you spend here, it's worth it.
With resounding voices across academia, enterprise, ministry, and the creative arts, the message was unified. Leadership that scales must be intentional, people-focused, and purpose-driven. Grace Komolafe, SOUQ News TV.
Well, Supporters Club had been there for 66 years when it was founded officially, but those who funded it were just doing it for the fun. We just come to the field, drum, sing, and go. Nobody gave them any recognition. But I joined them in the year 1977. Well, I paid 2 naira to join. And how did I join? It was because of an incident that happened at the National Stadium. The Shooting Stars of Ibadan and the Bendel Insurance of Benin were playing the semi-final of the FA competition that year. And I had to go to enter the stadium. I paid 4 naira to watch the game. While entering the stadium, the whole place was filled. And when I got inside, there was no place for me to sit down. So many of us were standing out there, people outside the gate of the stadium. There were more than the people right inside. So as at a point in time, while standing, some people just took me off ground and threw me into the crowd. And I started rolling until I landed on the culvert, concrete. Concrete slab. Before I knew it, over 50 people were on my top. And I could no longer breathe. So to me that day, it appeared I was going to die. But through the grace of God, I was able to wriggle out myself of that position. And the man directly on top of me had to leave, because what I did was by biting him, and I had to struggle to go under the concrete slab. And I was right there for the first half of the game, 45 minutes. I was right there under the concrete slab. I couldn't watch the game. It was the breeze that was coming from the outer part of the stadium that saved the situation. After the first half, you know, people will get up to go to the toilets, to go and buy drinks and meet their friends. I had the opportunity of coming out, and a good Samaritan gave me a small place to sit. Even at that, I was very unconscious. I was not comfortable. But the game ended. It was a drawn game. When the game ended, everybody left the stadium. But because I wasn't very comfortable, I had to wait in the stadium for like an hour and a half before I left. So when I left and I got home, 9 p.m. network news, breaking news. 32 people died in the stadium that day. And that, the thought came to me. I probably could have been one of them. But I thank God. That was what informed my decision to say, I will not go to the stadium again until I have the best way to go into the stadium without being killed, maimed, or injured. And I decided to move with those people, and I joined them. But then we were just doing it. Maybe 20 of us, 15, 30 of us, we meet under the trees of the National Stadium, and we go home. And since that period, immediately I became a member, I introduced what they call flag bearing. When from 1977 to 1990, every Nigerian team that came out of the tunnel or goes out there outside Nigeria to play, you will see the Nigerian green, white, green flag being carried by one person. It's me. I did that flag bearing for 13 whole years. Whenever the team is played, I will be there with them, whether it's the Super Eagles, the under 20, the under 23, the Falcons, and the rest, all our national teams. Even our club sides going out to play Continental. When you see the green, white, green of Nigeria, I used to be the one carrying that flag. So I was with them, and I rose within the ranks from being an assistant secretary to becoming the National Secretary, and also the chairman of the disciplinary panel of the Nigerian Football Supporters Club. And by 1990, I was voted to be the chairman. That was when the thoughts of registering the club came. So when you hear that the Nigerian Football Supporters Club founder officially, because of its registration, I did the registration. Registering the club, I moved it from Lagos to Ibadan, Oyo State. I'm an Ibadan man. Charity begins at home, they say. So I went to Ibadan. From Ibadan, I moved to Bauchi. I moved to Abuja, Kano, Port Harcourt, all the states of the Federation. By 1992, I went to Côte d'Ivoire, in Abidjan precisely, to launch the Supporters Club. I went there physically, bringing the Nigerians together, those living in Abidjan. I formed the Supporters Club and launched it officially. I left that place, I went to Ghana. I launched it in Ghana. Leaving Ghana, I went to Gambia. I went to Burkina Faso. I went to Mali. I went to Republic of Benin. I went to Togo. I went to all the countries of Africa, putting the Supporters Club in place in those countries. By 1995, I moved to the United States of America. I launched the Supporters Club at the Giant Sports Stadium in New Jersey in 1995. After that, I went to France in 1997 to launch the Supporters Club in France in 1997, because we were already thinking of going to France to play in the World Cup. And if the Super Eagles will not have enough supporters there, what will happen to them? Don't forget that I led the Supporters Club to the United States of America for the very first time we played in the World Cup in 1994. I was at the Copa America in 1995. That was when I had the opportunity of launching the Supporters Club in America. In 1996, I led the Supporters Club to Atlanta in 96. And the winning of the trophy, the gold in football event, made possible by the Supporters Club, support of the Supporters Club. Because when you listen, when that match, you remember that we played a match with Brazil in the preliminary stage, and we lost 1-0. But we had the opportunity again to meet them during the semi-final. And during the semi-final, Brazil had given us 3 goals. We were trailing 1-3 at the interval. And when the second half came up, we were given a penalty, I think 25 minutes to the end of the game. One of our players, I don't want to mention the name, but he knows, he lost that penalty kick. That was when God told me, sing this song. It's a miracle working God. It's a miracle working God. He's the Alpha and Omega. He's a miracle working God. Of course, my members chorused. Indeed, miracle came. We scored the second goal. And the then Minister of Sports, Chief Jim Nwobodo, came to our stand and said, let it go. I heard you guys singing, it's a miracle working God. It's like God is going to make a miracle to happen today. I said, yes. And we continued. I changed the song. I have a Father who never fails. I have a Father who never fails. I have a Father who never fails. Who never fails. Who never fails. Forever forevermore. Amen. Jesus never failed. Amen. Jesus never failed. Amen. Jesus never failed. Jesus never failed. Jesus never failed. Forevermore. We scored the third goal. Then another song came. Boya chukuna gaza. Boya chukuna gaza mere. Messiah yobiuma. Boya chukuna gaza. The match ended and there was to be the extra time. And that time it was a sudden death rule. Immediately I sang that song, my people chorused. And the ball was coming to Kanun Wakwo. He was backing the goalkeeper. Chested the ball, raised it up, turned around and tapped it to the net. And that was the 4 goals the Nigerian team scored against Brazil. And they started crying. And I decided to form another song. When Nigeria beat Brazil, when Nigeria beat Brazil, oh, Bebeto start to cry. When Nigeria beat Brazil, why Bebeto? Because they pulled him out. They were thinking they were reserving him because they thought they would meet Argentina in the final. Unknowingly to them, that they will be beaten, they don't know. So I did that song, and we sailed into the final, meeting Argentina in the final. And that again happened. Argentina was leading us 2-1. But we came from 1-2 to beat them 3-2. Yeah, to answer your question, I did that to tell you what the supporters club is to the team. And what this man felt by registering the club is that I have that belief. And it is general. Everybody must have it. That this is Nigeria, it's our country. We have to do something by giving it a positive image, whether in Nigeria or outside. You do know that all of us cannot be Mr. President of Nigeria. All of us cannot be governors. And not all of us will be members of the National Assembly. But all of us as Nigerians have special roles to play in giving our country a befitting and positive image.
Every time you spend money, you make a decision, not just about what you buy, but about the kind of economy you want to build. When you support a local business, you help create jobs, you help families earn, you help communities grow. Small businesses are the backbone of our economy. They reinvest in our neighborhoods. They create opportunity close to home. Before you click buy or choose where to shop, pause and ask, is there a local option? Because strong local businesses mean stronger cities. Stronger cities mean a stronger nation. Support local. Build the future. This message is brought to you in the interest of economic growth and national development.
Hello and welcome to SOUQ Quickie. I am Bolare. Let's take you around the world in 2 minutes. Here's what's moving money, markets, and power today. And today, it's shifting flows, fuel pressure, and a sudden turn in oil markets. We begin in Nigeria, where cross-border money movement is slowing. Data from the Central Bank of Nigeria shows remittance outflows dropped by over 36% in 2025. What does that signal? Reduced foreign transfers and a shift in how money is moving across borders. It's a quiet but important trend in the FX space. Still in Nigeria, fuel costs are back in focus. The Dangote refinery has raised petrol and diesel prices as global energy tensions push costs higher. The impact? More pressure on consumers and rising operating costs for businesses. But there's a twist in the supply story. Crude deliveries to the refinery from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited have doubled in March. The expectation? Better fuel availability and possibly some relief on prices ahead. So, pressure now, but hope on the horizon. Now to global oil markets, where things have shifted fast. Prices have dropped below $100 per barrel after Donald Trump announced a 2-week ceasefire involving Iran. That move has eased supply fears and triggered a sharp market reaction. And finally, on the geopolitical front, the US has agreed to pause strikes, with talks expected to begin soon. But there are divisions, as Israel backs the ceasefire while excluding parts of the region like Lebanon. So while tensions are cooling, the situation remains fragile. And that's your global snapshot in minutes. Stay sharp, stay informed, because the world is not slowing down. Stay tuned for more updates on SOUQ Quickie. I am Bolare.
Anthony Onyemaechi Elumelu was born on the 22nd of March 1963 in Jos, North Central Nigeria, to Susanna Dominic Elumelu, originally from Delta State. Tony earned a degree in economics from Ambrose Ali University, where he laid the foundation for his future career, and then furthered his education at the University of Lagos, where he obtained a master's degree in economics. His academic journey also includes attending the Harvard Business School, where he completed the Owner of President Management program, equipping him with advanced business management skills. Tony currently serves as the chairman of Heirs Holdings, Transcorp, and United Bank for Africa, UBA, demonstrating his significant influence in the banking and investment sector. He founded the Tony Elumelu Foundation, which aims to empower African entrepreneurs through comprehensive training, mentorships, and funding opportunities. In addition to his professional achievements, he's also a family man, married to Dr. Adele Vivian Elumelu, and together they have 7 children. In 2020, his efforts were acknowledged when he was named one of Time's 100 most influential people in the world. Anthony Elumelu's net worth is estimated to be around $700 million, a testament to his successful ventures and strategic investments. Elumelu continues to be a driving force in the business world, advocating for sustainable economic growth and empowering the next generation of African entrepreneurs.
Oyeyimika Adeboye is one who comes from a lineage of entrepreneurs. Her father, Chief Timothy Adeola Odutola, was a pioneer in Nigerian manufacturing and a role model for her business ambitions. This daughter of a trailblazer began a career with Nigerian Bottling Company and broke barriers at Cadbury, an organization she joined as Finance and Strategy Director and rose to become the first female managing director. Let's explore the world of this amazing African business leader who's built a legacy of excellence, inspiring future generation of female leaders. Oyeyimika Adeboye comes from a lineage of entrepreneurs. Her father, Chief Timothy Adeola Odutola, was a pioneer in Nigerian manufacturing and a role model for her business ambitions. Oyeyimika was born to late Chief Timothy Adeola Odutola, a foremost entrepreneur of his time. He was one of the pioneers of indigenous manufacturing in Nigeria, alongside the likes of Al-Hassan Dantata, the great-grandfather of business icon Aliko Dangote, and Louis Ojukwu, father of Odumegwu Ojukwu, the Biafran leader. Chief Timothy Adeola Odutola became the first president of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria when the body was formed. As daughter to the man who created a multi-million-dollar conglomerate, including 3 factories, a realty franchise, a cattle ranch, a 5,000-acre plantation, a sawmill, an exporting business, as well as established Adeola Odutola College and Adeola Odutola Elementary School in Ijebodi, Ogun State. In addition to having a mother who was a very successful businesswoman, Oyeyimika was highly inspired towards business by her parents who served as role models. After her basic and secondary education, Adeboye earned a degree in economics and accountancy from the University College, Cardiff, Wales. In 1986, she qualified as a chartered accountant in the UK before returning to Nigeria in the 90s. She became a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales and a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants in Nigeria. She also got Executive Management Education Certification in Finance and Business Administration from the Institute of Management Development, Lausanne, Switzerland, between 2000 and 2007. Oyeyimika began a career outside the shores of Nigeria as an article clerk with a United Kingdom accounting practice. On returning to Nigeria in the 90s, Oyeyimika took up a job with the Nigerian accounting and tax practice of Arthur Addison and Co. for a couple of years. From there, she moved to Nigerian Bottling Company PLC in 1994, where she held the position of Finance Director and Chief Financial Officer for about 13 years. Returning to Nigeria from the United Kingdom proved a career-defining moment for Oyeyimika. She recalls the experience of a female English friend who worked in the UK as senior manager for many years, but didn't make partner at the same firm where other male managers were admitted into partnership. Among other reasons, the possibility of career limitation consequent on being female and black were good enough reasons to make Oyeyimika return home. In November 2008, Oyeyimika was headhunted to join the board of Cadbury West Africa as Finance and Strategy Director, West Africa, and a director on the board of Cadbury Ghana Limited. She was also a member of the Audit Committee of the company until October 19, 2016. She is a member of the Executive Management Committee and member of the Risk Assessment Committee of Cadbury Nigeria. She spent a total of 10 years and 7 months with Cadbury before being appointed as MD, Cadbury Nigeria PLC in April 2019. She also became MD, Mondelez Cadbury West Africa. 2 months later, Mondelez International is the parent company of Cadbury Nigeria PLC. After consciously building a career in finance, strategy, and business administration, both in Nigeria and the United Kingdom, for over 2 decades, one can almost say that Oyeyimika had spent all the years preparing for the top. Her appointment as the MD CEO of Cadbury Nigeria PLC is a testament to the company's acknowledgement of fine talents. Position as the managing director of Cadbury Nigeria PLC. In April 2019, she was announced as the successor to Amira Shamsi. By this development, she became the first female MD of the company in its over 50 years of existence.
It's very important as you're growing your careers. You come here, you learn a lot, and this is a fantastic initiative, by the way. You come here, you learn a lot, and then you go out there, and you're wondering what next. What I always say to people is don't limit yourself. You must never limit yourself. I gave you a statement. I said I'm a finance person. Today I'm a general manager. I did not learn general management in school. So whatever you're learning here, I'll call it a drop in your learning pool. Okay? You spend a year here, you learn something. Whatever you learn from here is a drop in your learning pool. Some things you will learn in life. You know where HR people, she's gone, I wish she was here. They always tell us that your development, 80% is in your hands, 20% is in your employer's hands. Your employer can do a lot for you, but all they do for you is really 20%. If you don't get up and do something for yourself, you cannot promote yourself and you will not grow your career.
Oyeyimika Adeboye sits on the board of trustees of the Timothy Adeola Odutola Foundation, named after her father. The foundation targets its philanthropic works towards providing educational, industrial, and technological development for Nigerian youths that may be unable to gain admission into tertiary institutions for their higher education. Adeboye is a member of the board of Odutola Holdings Limited, a family-owned group of companies. Oyeyimika also serves as the chairperson of the advisory board of Genesis House, a home for disadvantaged young women, which was set up by Freedom Foundation. She's a member of the board of the Parity in Income and Education Foundation. Just like Oyeyimika Adeboye was able to break the corporate glass ceiling as the first female MD of Cadbury Nigeria PLC, today, women are given the visibility and exposure that was probably not a priority in the past. While there is still a huge gap in the recognition and appointment of highly performing women into CEO roles, the trend is fast improving as organizations are intentionally taking steps to ensure that women get the opportunity to take on very senior roles. As part of her philanthropic work, Adeboye is a member of the board of trustees of YEO Foundation, which provides various initiatives to empower less privileged women. She also contributes her time to partner with Handmaidens WRLS, a Christian NGO which seeks to mentor and empower professional women along an ethical career path. Oyeyimika is a member of the board of trustees of the Timothy Adeola Odutola Foundation, a family-owned philanthropic foundation set up for the purpose of providing educational, industrial, and technological development of Nigerian youths who may be unable to gain access to higher education. For these accomplished women, only God comes before her family and the scale of priority. She enjoys running and spending time with her family over a sumptuous meal. Oyeyimika Adeboye's values are shaped by faith as a Christian. In an interview granted to Punch newspaper, Oyeyimika admits her faith-based values, which borders on integrity, is key to decisions she makes and work ethics.
Just do what you need to do and do it well, to your best, Mr. Oshika talked about it, to the best of your ability. Do your best. What do I want to say? Yes, I said, be ready to make sacrifices, but be mindful of your priorities. I want to talk about priorities. As a Christian, and as a mother, as a wife, there's some things in my own life that I know are important. When you're talking about work-life balance, so many things would try to tear you apart. You have to have your priorities. So I took my priorities right. I said, in any decision, in any situation I face, I stick my finger out and I say 3 things. The first thing is my faith, my God. So if anything at work is going to take that away from me, I'm really willing to give up that work. And I say it boldly that as a Christian, if I have to compromise my faith, then it's not worth it.
Growing up in a home with strict moral upbringing, she recounts her disciplinary father never failing to apply the rod when it was necessary, as well as her mom. These values have shaped Oyeyemika's character and decision-making. The journey of Oyeyemika exemplifies dedication, talent, and the importance of breaking barriers. She continues to inspire future generations of female leaders. There's never telling where this wonderful, amazing woman is going next as she continues to break corporate ceilings.
My name is Yinka Babalola.
My name is Ijoma Pelokoro.
My name is Joshua Hassan.
I am Rotarian or Mosunde Lawson.
It's Ife Yonwarita Ejeze. My friends call me Ife.
My name is Rotarian Lola Dare. I'm inviting you to keep watching SOUQ News. It's the right station to tune to.
I like SOUQ News. SOUQ News is good.
I want to charge you all to listen to SOUQ News, watch the news.
You can have unlimited news, first time.
Find SOUQ News. Be with SOUQ News. Never switch off. You are better for it. SOUQ News is the real thing.
Listen to their coverage and you'll be glad you did.
Turn to your YouTube, turn to your Instagram, turn to all your digital channels and look for SOUQ News.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Please, guys, keep watching.
SOUQ News.
Rest isn't laziness. It's your body's reset button. Hello, my name is Emmanuel Olise, and this is SOUQ Health Tips. Today, let's discuss one of the most underrated health boosters, sleep. You can eat right and exercise daily, but without good sleep, your body never truly recovers. Number 1, sleep is cellular repair. During deep sleep, your body heals, builds muscles, and restores energy. It's also when your brain clears out toxins and strengthens memory. 2, stick to a schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Your body thrives on rhythm. 3, create a sleep sanctuary. Dim lights, cool temperature, and 0 screens before bed. Your bedroom should tell your body it's time to rest. 4, avoid late caffeine and heavy meals. They interfere with deep sleep stages. Opt for herbal tea or light snacks instead. In summary, sleep isn't optional. It's essential medicine. Protect it like you would any prescription. I'm Emmanuel Olise, and this is SOUQ Health Tips. Sleep well, your body's counting on it.
bank was totally gone. So there was nothing to say they had. But we still approached them and said, we would like to take over this bank. The journey since 1997 has been one thing or the other. And I'm happy that many years down the line, we look back and we're happy that we're audacious and bold to make them move at the time. That's why today in UBA, perseverance, resilience is a core virtue, a core attribute, a core value of ours, because we apply that early on in this journey. So that's how it all started.
Leadership, according to some Peters, entails vision, enthusiasm, trust, verve, passion, and consistency. If there's one man who graciously combines these virtues, the name Tony Elumelu comes to mind.
They say that success to a large extent is dependent on being at the right place at the right time. I say to people, my elder brother, who is 7 years older than me, he don't have gray hair. I have gray hair. My gray hair started from the merger because making it work, serving your customers, making sure that everyone in the universe of the institution, which was we have 428 branches at the time, that it was same level of service across board. Customers of standard trust bank that were used to a certain level of service delivery, you will not want them to come to the new institution and have a drop.
From the womb of time, Tony Elumelu has been an embodiment of nobility and excellence. He remains one of the flying eagles and shining heads of the banking industry. The life and times of Tony is an inspiring tale. He is one Nigeria who is unmoved by material wealth and self-aggrandizement. Tony's noble qualities were on from his humble background. Growing up with 4 siblings in Jos Plateau State, the cowboy of the banking industry who hails from Anocha North local government area of Delta State, believed in the democratization of law combined with hard work. He began his career as a copier salesman. The Ambrose Ali University graduate of economics also bagged a master's degree in economics from the University of Lagos. In 2019, he received an honorary Doctor of Business degree from Bayero University, Kano.
Going to university, I just thought I wanted to be a businessman because my mom's brother, my mom and his brother were just 2 of them. So my uncle was a businessman, in Nigeria, and was quite successful at the time. And I was influenced. I thought he was very rich, and also I wanted to be a businessman, but not knowing whether just a businessman, you know what I mean? Because he was described then as a businessman. And but in university, that was why I read economics, just to see. But in university, I got more enlightened because I knew more how things operated. And first degree, I was saying I just wanted a good job that would give me the start. But when I came to do my master's at Unilag, being in urban or Unilag, a lot happening at the time. And that was the era of new generation banks, a lot happening. Our friends, in banking, our friends, some got jobs in some banks. And so that's all of us who were doing masters at the time. I did masters in economics. Who were doing masters at the time, we just became interested and fascinated. We were interested in working in a bank. New generation bank, not old generation bank, not. And so that was how it all started. And we started applying for jobs in our banks. And I got, yes, at the master's level, it was clear I wanted to work in a bank. And yes, that was started. As in then, Santana was a posh guy. So they oppressed us in school, I must say. And then we too wanted to become the big boys in future with the brochures, suspenders, white shirt, dark suits, etc.
The growth and development of any institution is determined by the quality of its leadership. For Tony Elumelu, his telling performance and leadership scorecard in the banking industry remains a reference point. He rose quickly to become the youngest bank branch manager at Allstate Trust Bank at the age of 36. He formed a coalition to acquire a distressed financial institution, Crystal Bank, and became its CEO, an action that earned him and his circle of peers the nickname the Cowboys of Banking.
In 1997, some of us came together and acquired the distressed financial institution. We acquired the distressed financial institution, we turned it around, we set targets for ourselves, strategic plans. That's targets, if you have first year strategic intent, we want to make it a viable financial services company. Second tier intent, we want to become a leading financial services group on the continent. And third financial intent, strategic intent to become a player in the global financial arena. As we all know, there's so much private global capital seeking the right investment destination. All it takes is for a leadership to show that this country is set for business and people come there. We want to move into an economy where they can invest freely as well as move their monies out when it comes for time for dividend and remittances and repatriation of a dividend. So I will continue to invest because of the signal that we see in the market, because of certain fundamentals that are right.
He audaciously led the largest merger in Africa between United Bank of Africa and Standard Trust Bank. Tony's fancy for red tie remains emblem of his appearance. He retired as CEO of United Bank for Africa in 2010. He is presently the chairman of Heirs Holdings, the United Bank for Africa, Transcorp, and founder of the Tony Elumelu Foundation.
I can't express how excited I am in words to be here and to be selected among the 1,000.
It's the opportunity for me to realize my dreams. So I go into business and start to make my way.
It challenges you to do things you never thought you could do.
Maybe if you'd have gone to a private school or an MBA, you must have paid a lot to get this kind of, enlightenment.
Ça me fait plaisir de voir des frères et sœurs qui veulent se rencontrer, se connaître, les partager et créer un réseau, peut-être le plus grand réseau africain.
Venho de Cabo Verde.
Je suis tunisien.
Je viens de la République du Bénin.
I'm from Edo State, Nigeria.
I'm from Ghana.
Zimbabwe.
Sudan.
From Rwanda. Gabon.
Uganda.
Senegal.
Asia.
I'm from the Gambia.
Welcome and thank you for coming to Lagos. I'd like to start by congratulating all of you. You have done well. Most entrepreneurs are creative people. They have creative mindset. They're innovative. Those who dare to dream and who dare to innovate in Africa should have the opportunity to prove their innovation. And that is why we have $10,000 for these 10,000 Africans to help prove their concept and prepare them for bigger scale financial support. We don't give because we see it as a moral burden to just give charity. But we want to give people because we want to uplift them. We want them to be self-reliant. We want them to be fishermen. We want them to do what we are doing. We want them to prosper in life, become successful.
Tony made a tremendous contribution to giving back to the society. His selfless efforts and huge investment into humanity through the Tony Elumelu Foundation is widely admired as the leading philanthropy empowering a new generation of African entrepreneurs, driving poverty eradication, catalyzing job creation across all 54 African countries, and increasing women economic empowerment. Since the launch of the entrepreneurship program in 2015, the foundation has trained over 1.5 million young Africans on its digital hub. Tony, the Nigerian economist, entrepreneur and philanthropist, holds the Nigerian National Honors, the Commander of the Order of Nigeria, CON, a member of the Order of the Federal Republic, MFR. He has been responsible for creating business that are critical to Africa's economic development. He is a proponent of Africa capitalism, an economic philosophy which advocates for the private sector's commitment to Africa's development through long-term investment in strategic sectors of the economy that drive economic prosperity and social wealth award. He was awarded the Daily Times the Nigerian Man of the Year in 2016. He was honored with the National Productivity Order of Merit Award in 2019. He is also on the list of Time Magazine's 100 Most Influential People of 2020. On October 11, 2022, Elumelu received the National Honor of Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Tony, as a staunch professional and chairman of Foremost Bank, may understandably runs a busy daily schedule like that of a bee, but he balances the equation with creating time for sports. His love for lawn tennis and football stands undeniable.
My good workout favorite is, I think I would say that I like to jump on the sport. I love yoga, as you said. Yeah. But these days I'm trying to get in the group on planking.
Tony is not just a champion in the banking hall. He equally balances the equation when it comes to family life.
For me, as a family man, though, I try to make sure I balance things. I try to make sure my family side did not suffer. In that process, I was also growing a family, having my kids and co. So, but everything came together.
Tony is happily married to Awele Vivian Elumelu, who is the chairperson of Harvey Medical Practice Limited. Vivian also oversees the healthcare investment of his holdings. She holds a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery degree from the University of Benin. The marriage was consummated in 1993 and blessed with 7 children. According to Forbes' list, Tony is among the top 10 richest entrepreneurs in Nigeria with a net worth estimated at $1 billion.
We don't just preach. We don't just theorize, we practice.
Tony has stooped to conquer not just in the banking industry, but in life. The strides of this living legend, popularly referred to as the Lion of Africa's financial industry, remains iconic.
So entrepreneurs who are listening, quick one, short one, straight to the point. Entrepreneurship is a long-term journey. Stop seeing it as a short-term goal. Long-term journey. Great companies, great and accomplished entrepreneurs did not make it in 1 year. They didn't make it in 3 years. It's a long-term journey. So move in, dare to dream, implement your dream, and stay focused.
Well, Supporters Club had been there for 66 years when it was founded officially, but those who funded it were just doing it for the fun. We just come to the field, drum, sing, and go. Nobody gave them any recognition. But I joined them in the year 1977. Well, I paid 2 naira to join. And how did I join? It was because of an incident that happened at the National Stadium. The Shooting Stars of Ibadan and the Bendel Insurance of Benin were playing the semi-final of the FA competition that year. And I had to go to enter the stadium. I paid 4 naira to watch the game. While entering the stadium, the whole place was filled. And when I got inside, there was no place for me to sit down. So many of us were standing. Out there, people outside the gate of the stadium, there were more than the people right inside. So as at a point in time, while standing, some people just took me off ground and threw me into the crowd. And I started rolling until I landed on the culvert, concrete. Concrete slab. Before I knew it, over 50 people were on my top. And I could no longer breathe. So to me that day, it appeared I was going to die. But through the grace of God, I was able to wriggle out myself of that position. And the man directly on top of me had to leave, because what I did was by biting him. And I had to struggle to go under the concrete slab. And I was right there for the first half of the game, 45 minutes. I was right there under the concrete slab. I couldn't watch the game. It was the breeze that was coming from the outer part of the stadium that saved the situation. After the first half, you know, people will get up to go to the toilets, to go and buy drinks and meet their friends. I had the opportunity of coming out, and a good Samaritan gave me a small place to sit. Even at that, I was very unconscious. I was not comfortable. But the game ended. It was a drawn game. When the game ended, everybody left the stadium. But because I wasn't very comfortable, I had to wait in the stadium for like an hour and a half before I left. So when I left and I got home, 9 p.m. network news, breaking news. 32 people died in the stadium that day. And the thought came to me. I probably could have been one of them. But I thank God. That was what informed my decision to say, I will not go to the stadium again until I have the best way to go into the stadium without being killed, maimed, or injured. And I decided to move with those people, and I joined them. But then we were just doing it. Maybe 20 of us, 15, 30 of us, we meet under the trees of the National Stadium, and we go home. And since that period, immediately I became a member. I introduced what they call flag bearing. When from 1977 to 1990, every Nigerian team that came out of the tunnel or goes out there outside Nigeria to play, you will see the Nigerian green, white, green flag being carried by one person. It's me. I did that flag bearing for 13 whole years. Whenever the team is played, I will be there with them, whether it's the Super Eagles, the under-20, the under-23, the Falcons, and the rest, all our national teams. Even our club sides going out to play Continental. When you see the green, white, green of Nigeria, I used to be the one carrying that flag. So I was with them, and I rose within the ranks from being an assistant secretary to becoming the national secretary and also the chairman of the disciplinary panel of the Nigerian Football Supporters Club. And by 1990, I was voted to be the chairman. That was when the thoughts of registering the club came. So when you hear that the Nigerian Football Supporters Club founder officially, because of its registration, I did the registration. Registering the club, I moved it from Lagos to Ibadan, Oyo State. I'm an Ibadan man. Charity begins at home, they say. So I went to Ibadan. From Ibadan, I moved to Bauchi. I moved to Abuja, Kano, Port Harcourt, all the states of the Federation. By 1992, I went to Côte d'Ivoire, in Abidjan precisely, to launch the Supporters Club. I went there physically, bringing the Nigerians together, those living in Abidjan. I formed the Supporters Club and launched it officially. I left that place, I went to Ghana. I launched it in Ghana. Leaving Ghana, I went to Gambia. I went to Burkina Faso. I went to Mali. I went to Republic of Benin. I went to Togo. I went to all the countries of Africa, putting the Supporters Club in place in those countries. By 1995, I moved to the United States of America. I launched the Supporters Club at the Giant Sports Stadium in New Jersey in 1995. After that, I went to France in 1997 to launch the Supporters Club in France in 1997 because we were already thinking of going to France to play in the World Cup. And if the Super Eagles will not have enough supporters there, what will happen to them? Don't forget that I led the Supporters Club to the United States of America for the very first time we played in the World Cup in 1994. I was at the Copa America in 1995. That was when I had the opportunity of launching the Supporters Club in America. In 1996, I led the Supporters Club to Atlanta in 1996. And the winning of the trophy, the gold in football event, made possible by the Supporters Club, support of the Supporters Club. Because when you listen, when that match, you remember that we played a match with Brazil in the preliminary stage, and we lost 1-0. But we had the opportunity again to meet them during the semi-final. And during the semi-final, Brazil had given us 3 goals. We were trailing 1-3 at the interval. And when the second half came up, we were given a penalty, I think 25 minutes to the end of the game. One of our players, I don't want to mention the name, but he knows, he lost that penalty kick. That was when God told me, sing this song. It's a miracle working God. It's a miracle working God. He's the Alpha and Omega. He's a miracle working God. Of course, my members chorused. Indeed, miracle came. We scored the second goal. And the then Minister of Sports, Chief Jim Nwobodo, came to our stand and said, let it go. I heard you guys singing, it's a miracle working God. It's like God is going to make a miracle to happen today. I said, yes. And we continued. I changed the song. I have a Father who never fails. I have a Father who never fails. I have a Father who never fails, who never fails, who never fails, forevermore. Amen. Jesus never failed. Amen. Jesus never failed. Amen. Jesus never failed. Jesus never failed. Jesus never failed. Forevermore. We scored the third goal. Then another song came. Boya chukuna gaza. Boya chukuna gaza mere. Messiah yobiuma. Boya chukuna gaza. The match ended and there was to be the extra time. And that time it was a sudden death rule. Immediately I sang that song, my people chorused. And the ball was coming to Kanun Wakwo. He was backing the goalkeeper. Tested the ball, raised it up, turned around and tapped it to the net. And that was the 4 goals the Nigerian team scored against Brazil. And they started crying. And I decided to form another song. When Nigeria beat Brazil, when Nigeria beat Brazil, oh, Bebeto start to cry. When Nigeria beat Brazil, why Bebeto? Because they pulled him out. They were thinking they were reserving him because they thought they would meet Argentina in the final. Unknowingly to them, that they will be beaten, they don't know. So I did that song, and we sailed into the final, meeting Argentina in the final. And that again happened. Argentina was leading us 2-1, but we came from 1-2 to beat them 3-2. Yeah, to answer your question, I did that to tell you what the supporters club is to the team. And what this man felt by registering the club is that I have that belief. And it is general. Everybody must have it. That this is Nigeria, it's our country. We have to do something by giving it a positive image, whether in Nigeria or outside. You do know that all of us cannot be Mr. President of Nigeria. All of us cannot be governors, and not all of us will be members of the National Assembly. But all of us as Nigerians have special roles to play in giving our country a befitting and positive image. That is the reason why this man has been following football supportership all the time to date. Well, I want to tell you, like I said earlier on, the grace of God has been the secret. The other secret is that my members, I get them reoriented to believe in my vision. All of them supports what I was doing. They all love this country. They want to contribute their own to the good name of Nigeria. That has been the secret. And don't forget, any member of the supporters club should be referred to as a patriot par excellence, because they are not paid. They are not given any allowance. They use their time, their money, even at the risk of their lives, to support the cause of Nigeria through supportership. Well, majorly, it is funding. The challenges is funding, because if you have to support the team, yes, they are playing in Lagos, you may not spend much money. But when they are playing in Enugu, they are playing in Uyo, they are playing in Abuja, you need money. no matter how. But come to think of you traveling with 100, 200, 300, 600 supporters outside Nigeria. They will not go by road. They will go by air. It's a lot of money that we need in running the supporters club. So our main challenges has been that of funding. But I can assure you that God has been good to us. We have had some philanthropists, some organizations who have come to assist us by way of supporting us, giving us a lot of money. And if you will not mind, I will have to put it on record that the very first company that supported Supporters Club was Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola did it for 2 years. They could no longer do it. Then, for 1 year, MTN did it. They could no longer sustain it. Well, later we got Globacom. Dr. Mike Adenuga Jr. has been the brain, the backbone, the sponsor, and the financier of the Supporters Club for several years, doling out millions from 50 to 60 to 100 million of naira, and even in dollars. So that has been the way, that has been how we have been able to surmount it. We have some philanthropists. We have Taiwo Afolabi, who has always supported us whenever we are going out. I remember Alhaji Aliko Dangote in 1996. He supported us. And some other Nigerians too. Esther Ajayi, when we were going to Russia 2018, I went to this woman and I told her our problems. The second day, she was able to give us 20 million. I went to meet the then governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Governor Ambody. He gave me 10 million. The club, not me per se, he gave the club. And when we were going to Brazil in 2014, that was the very first time any government supported us. We went to Brazil. Before going, I visited the then president, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. After decorating him as our patron, he pronounced a 50 million naira grant for us to go to Brazil. Actually, we were going to request from him a whole plane to take us there because we were going for a national assignment. Supporters Club is a selfless service. But the president gave us 50 million. I mean, good luck, Jonathan. But we ended up spending 189 million. The difference of that was raised by me going to Dr. Mike Adenuga, Taiwo Afolabi, Esther Ajayi, Ambode, and the rest. That's how we've been running the club. We've been running the club, meeting people who lost the game of football, who lost Nigeria, and they have been helping us. Well, very, very unfortunate. It's a story I hate to be talking about all the time because I've said many things about it more than 100 times. Supporters Club had been there for several years. And Dr. Rafiu Ladipo was the national chairman for just 10 years, from 1990 to 2000. I left that position in 2000. And then somebody else became the national chairman. And that was Alhaji Waidi Anderile Yusuf, who was the chairman for 8 good years. After him, there was Otumba Olatunde Bashorun. He was there for 4 years. And there came a time when one Mr. Vincent Okumagba acted in that capacity for 3.5 years. And there was one little mistake, misunderstanding, because people will not want to wait for their time. And all I told them is, please, go through an election. Anybody who would not want to go through an election is not supposed to be on that chair of the national chairman. That's what came up, and the then NFF believed that there could be 20 arms of supporters clubs in Nigeria. It could even run to 100 units. But it's unhealthy. You cannot have a situation where your team is playing right on the field and you have different corners where you have the Nigerian supporters scattered all over the field, singing in different voices. It's not good. But look, I've been able to manage it because God has told me that supporters must not die. Supporters club will not die. I have to be patient to let them see reasons why the supporters club should go and support the teams with unity. As a unit, go and support the team. But if you have funded your own, maybe you have registered your own, you have your own office, you can stay in your office. Manage your office the way you want to manage it. But when it becomes a national assignment, you are going out to represent Nigeria. All of us as supporters must come together to support Nigeria as a group supporting one team. Not when you have some people in angle 90, some people in angle 180, some people in angle 360, some people in angle 60, supporting one team. It does not augur well. There's nothing you are going to achieve from this. I remember when we were in Russia, and my members have gone in. I normally wait for all of them to go in before I will finally go in. So when I was going in as the last person, I entered the stadium, and I saw them, some people up there, I saw some people on the left, I saw some people on the right. And when I was going to meet the band boys, some of their security men came to me, I'm in Russia, and asked me where I was going. I said I was going to meet my people. They said I should bring their ticket, my ticket. And when they saw the ticket, no, you can't go there, go there. That place is not yours. Your seat is downstairs there. How do I coordinate the activities of my members? This is what we've been telling them. Supporters Club must be united. They must come together, sing together, cheer the team together, and let us have a befitting result. When the referee or the match officials see a group of people, even if you are 200 or 300, converging in one special place together, in your uniforms, in your green and white, and you are singing, they know you have come to support your team. So it takes them every reason to want to do the game better. Well, when you are not there, in a capacity crowd of 90,000, we had 5 supporters here, 2 there, 7 there. When the Argentines were about 87,000 in the field, singing for their team. So I believe that the supporters club must be together. I've been able to manage it now, up to now. The national chairman of the supporters club as we speak is Reverend Samuel Ikpeya. He coordinates the activities of the supporters club in Nigeria. While worldwide, I'm the president general because we have supporters club in all the other countries of the world. And when we come together, there must be one person. There must be the head. We have the president of the supporters club in Cote d'Ivoire. We have the chairman of the supporters club in UK. In all Francophone countries, the head of the supporters club is called president. In Anglophone countries, the head of supporters club is addressed as Mr. Chairman. So the President General is not just what we just came out with. It's because there's a need for it. That's why the President General worldwide comes up. Well, I have told you a lot of people don't want to wait for their time. And when you don't wait for your time, what do you lose? You lose much. There was going to be an election. And I called all of them, go and pick your nomination papers for the election. But some of them would not want to because they want appointments. And I don't believe in appointments because we have a constitution in the supporters club that says everybody and anybody who wants to be an officer must contest for election. I insisted that there must be an election. Some people would not want an election because they know, probably they believe they cannot win. They decided to say, oh, let's go our way because we don't want election. That's it. Before now, up to about 8 years, 10 years ago, the Super Eagles were really super. But in the last 8 years, we have not been there. We have not been doing well. Don't forget that in 1994, Nigeria's team, the Super Eagles, were judged to be the 5th best in the world. What is our ranking now? 37th in the world. Even in Africa, what is our ranking? So the Eagles of the last 8, 9 years ago, no, they have not done well at all. I want anybody to tell me, what did we win in the last 8, 9 years? Don't forget that in 1980, we won the Cup of Nations right here at the National Stadium. In 1994, we were in Tunisia. We won it. In 2013, we were in South Africa. We won the Cup of Nations. In 1996, we won the Atlanta Olympics. Since then, what can we point to that we have won? So the Eagles of the last 8, 9 years, no. They did their best, but their best was not good enough for Nigeria. And that's why we didn't win nothing. But I want to believe that the present crop of Eagles being put together now, going for the Cup of Nations, we want to write their names in gold. And if that is so, it means they have to put in their best to see that going to Côte d'Ivoire 2024 will not just be going there to make a number. We're going there to give a very good account of ourselves. Who says it is not possible for Nigeria to win the Cup of Nations again? It is possible. But it takes a determined group of people as players who wants to write their names in gold to do that. When you are rating the coach, a coach is as good as his last match. Pasero was employed, he was given a target, and the NFF has the power to either sack or renew his contract. I think according to them, maybe he has performed according to what they want. But for me, as a Nigerian, I want Pasero to go to Côte d'Ivoire and show us that he is serious, and show us that the Super Eagles can still fly, and make us get minimally play in the semi-final of the Cup of Nations. Anything short of that, no. Well, I want to believe that our Nigerian coaches are good. There have been 2 or 3 foreign coaches that have done well. Westhoff, Bonfrejo, and this which doctor, what's his name again? I'll remember his name. This guy qualified us to play in the World Cup with a match to go. The witch doctor. Well, the witch coach, we call him, we remember it's now it will come back. So, since then, there's no foreign coach that has done better. I was one of the people that went to London to recruit this man I'm talking about. When we recruited him, he came to Nigeria, and he made us to qualify for the World Cup with a match still to go. Philippe Troussier. I was there in England where we interviewed him. Well, since then, it has been one coach coming to take our money, not giving a very good account of himself. But the Nigerian coaches, let's also praise some of them. Some of them. The late Shuaibu Amadu qualified us to play in the World Cup, even though he did not take us there. The late Stephen Keshi also made us to win the Cup of Nations of 2013 in South Africa. So if that happens, who says the Nigerian coaches are not good? Some Nigerian coaches have proved themselves, but they still need to do more. But these two coaches, exceptional. That is the real reason, the real controversy we're having between the NFF and the coaches. You don't hire a coach if you know you cannot pay his wages. You must be ready to pay his salary as a twin deal. There's no coach who will labor and after which he would have trained your players and you are owing him salaries of 5 months, 7 months. Which coach will take that? Where is that happening across the world? Nobody will accept that. So that has to be looked into. And that is why the NFF has got to look for serious sponsors and raise funds for them to be self-sufficient, to be able to take all these challenges of paying the coaches' wages. That is a big problem. And I think the present NFF board, led by Ibrahim Guzo, will look into that, look for sponsors, serious sponsors who are interested, not just interested, but who are genuinely interested in the Nigerian game and in the Nigerian nation. You may be interested in the Nigerian game, but if you are not interested in the Nigerian game, Nigerian nation, you may not give what it takes to do. You must have the love of this country at heart, and then love the game also. In the last 15, 10, 8 years, our boxing went down. In the last 5 years to today, our boxing has come up. I am the president of the Nigerian Boxing Board of Control, and I confirm